Yeah, so this is the Starboard / Airush 50 Free Wing. This is my go-to wing for freestyle right now. And the biggest reason that I choose it for freestyle and maneuver-oriented things is because of its shape. It's actually a lot more low profile compared to a lot of the other wings on the market, which have kind of like a shorter center strut and are a little bit longer wingtip to wingtip. I also, with the narrow wingtips, it clears a lot easier. So you'll notice that like when you're trying to clear this wing, especially as a beginner, it clears so much easier than a lot of the other wings in the 5 meter range. If you're a beginner looking at this wing, it has handles all the way down the center strut. So a lot of the other wings have like handles specifically placed in certain locations across the center strut. And this one just has 5 back to back. And I think that as much as some people will argue, oh, if you have perfectly placed handles, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about where you're supposed to put your hands. I find that having those handles so you can work your way down that center strut as a beginner, just to find that sweet spot, as well as when you transition from the leading edge all the way down to where you want to be holding onto the wing, is super helpful. Yeah, what did you, like, first impressions compared to the other first impressions, would you say?
I don't think I've ever used it in conditions where it was just the right wind.
Yeah.
So when I used it at
Sandbanks was too windy?
Sandbanks, it was overpowered.
Yeah.
And on like Simcoe, it was underpowered. Mm-hmm. I haven't really had a chance to use it in its sweet spot. I did think it flagged pretty well.
Mm-hmm. It's really interesting, because like,
yeah.
I definitely feel like it doesn't flag as well compared to the other ones. But
Okay.
I know you had like Sandbanks, you were stacked too. But,
yeah, so like any wing when it's windy will just flutter in the wind. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's when you're underpowered that you notice which ones are a little better at flagging than others.
Yeah. Another thing I would say is the windows are huge. For sure, like if I do get close to somebody, you can use these windows. Some of the other models, the windows aren't as big. These ones are...
You have to move the wing anyway to use the window. They're too small. So
exactly.
Having big windows definitely makes them super user-friendly.
Definitely. As a beginner wing and as somebody who's maybe potentially getting into freestyle as well, this definitely is a standout for me. Rob, any thoughts?
Yeah, some notes on the handles, not only for beginners, but sometimes if you're doing transitions, sometimes if you're fumbling with gloves on in cold weather, having an extra handle where you can at least get your hand on it. Sometimes switching a single handle from hand to hand is kind of hard when you've got thick gloves on. So having lots of handle options, I think, is beneficial. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they want to keep it bare bones and only give you one front handle and 2 in the back.
Yeah.
Yes, they're correctly placed, but sometimes you miss the handle and
exactly.
when you're in the water.
I'm also, it also has the Y handle, which I'm a fan of. I think like it's something for me when I'm transitioning, getting going. It's just that much closer to the leading edge, so it's easier when you're leveraging the wing into the water. It's just something you can grab sooner than that front handle as well. I know, Rob, you don't really use them very often, but you know, when I'm 95 kilos on a small board, sometimes I'm a little bit wobbly, so I'll grab it.
Yeah, sometimes I find the Y handle, especially if you're riding a bigger wing because it's light winds, it lets you lift the wing a little bit higher up for pumping and getting started. So they can be helpful in a few different situations.